What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to your channel. And for today's video, we are talking about the huge announcement that Treyarch just put out. This is something that pro players have obviously known about for a very long time, as it is a collaborative effort with the studio, and that is preset classes being in the game for competitive Call of Duty. I don't know if these are going to be in League Play yet. As obviously, I'm filming this before we get a chance to actually play League Play. So I'm not sure how these classes are going to be implemented in the game, if it's just going to be a private match thing, if they're going to be forced into League Play. I hope they're not, because running around a League Play with like different builds and stuff was kind of like a really cool video idea that I had. So if that's kind of chalked, it would be a little sad. But if you guys go to private match, and you'll see a variant of CDL hardpoint. I think it's called CDL Pro hardpoint or something like that. And right now it is currently broken. I don't think the classes work actually, but they're there, and it is a list of set classes that pro players and Treyarch had collaborated on to come up with. These are all the classes that you guys are going to be seeing throughout the entire year. I think when Treyarch first approached us with this idea, I think they wanted more definition. They wanted to be more clear on what we were using on our guns. Obviously, with created class, you don't really know unless you play competitive Call of Duty. Obviously, you kind of figured it out. But I think Treyarch wanted to appeal more to the casual side, which bridging that gap has always been a struggle for Call of Duty. Obviously, the game is made for casual players. So bridging that gap was definitely something that Treyarch was interested in doing. And I think that this is an idea. I don't know how well it's going to be executed. So let's go ahead and hop into the video. Obviously, I'll deep dive. Basically, guys, in this video, I'm breaking down everything you need to know about the CDL Pro classes. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in a wonderful private match. So what I mentioned before with the CDL Pro hardpoint is just a variant of the actual game. CDL hardpoint, you guys can still change your classes. This is actually what they look like, because the CDL rules are broken at the moment. But you can still change your classes with the CDL regular mode. And then the CDL Pro hardpoint, as you guys can see here, these are all the different kinds of names. They're just descriptions of the classes, essentially. Like I said in the intro, they are broken. They're not currently working. And I think a couple of the classes actually have the wrong attachments from what the pro players gave them. So hopefully Treyarch is pretty quick on updating these. This is the first test to see the update speed. This was one thing that pro players were super hesitant about when Treyarch first proposed this idea. It's like, okay, if we put these classes in the game and there's a huge tuning patch, or if, you know, players figure out things that are good and bad. Oh, okay, Jesus Christ. Maybe there's a new update. Alrighty, back to what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by an update. So the main issue that pro players had when this idea was first proposed was the speed of the updates. Now, like I said, if something changes in the meta, we're like, okay, like how fast are these guys going to be able to update the game? And the time frame that they gave us was 2 to 3 days. So if we proposed a change to the classes, that change would be implemented in a game within 2 to 3 days. This is the first test. So they release these classes. Everything is broken, essentially, and a couple of the classes are wrong. So this is Treyarch's first test to see if it actually is 2 to 3 days on the update speed. I'm happy that Treyarch came up with the idea. At first, we were super against it just because, you know, removing created class just seems like creating a problem rather than solving one, really. But as time went on and Treyarch had more meetings with us, it makes sense. They just wanted to bridge the gap between casual and pro players, because again, like I mentioned in the intro, that's the #1 issue with Call of Duty. If you think about other really successful esports, their game is competitive. Counter-Strike, you play that game to play competitively. League of Legends, you play that game to play competitively. Like, when you play Call of Duty, there's a huge casual audience that people really forget about when it comes to competitive Call of Duty. So I'm happy that Treyarch is taking initiatives to try to bridge that gap, because it is a pretty massive one. So hopefully this idea works out in the long run. Like I said, this is a brand new idea. It just got implemented. So there's going to be some rough patches here and there. We're already off to a pretty slow start with how everything is looking right now. But as for the actual classes, guys, a bunch of pro players, I think probably 10 to 12, got together in a call, and it was one rep from every team. And it's kind of how GAs go. Basically, we had a Google Doc, and we were going through, we consulted our teams on what attachments were used, what red dot was used, what perks combinations were used, and we came up, I think, about I want to say it was 15 classes. Obviously, all of them aren't here right now, but I want to say it was like 12 to 15 classes for respawn, and then 12 to 15 for S&D. So we have 30 total preset classes. All of them are collaborated on from every single team. So it's not just, you know, Crim6, come in, I want to use a Krig, and here's my guns. Like, no, that's not how it went. So this is a huge step in the right direction in terms of collaboration. Obviously, last year, you guys know that Infinity Ward kind of didn't care. Don't want to get fined. Infinity Ward didn't have much interest in that. So it's insane, the 180 really. You know, Treyarch is much more open to collaboration. They're much more, the channels to actually talk with developers are utilized way better than they were with Infinity Ward. You know, we have DMs, we have monthly meetings. It's like they're very interested in competitive Call of Duty, and obviously they would, if, you know, if they weren't, then they wouldn't even care about putting these classes in the game. They just let us rock. So again, this is definitely going to be rough to start out. This is a brand new concept, and I think that depending on the update speed, that's what's going to make or break this entire thing. You know, if we as players are forced to play with these classes and then they end up not being the ones that we wanted, and then, you know, the updates are slow, that's where the wall of up between pro players and the developers really starts to impact things. So essentially, TLDW on this is pros and Treyarch really, we got together and said we need to bridge the gap between casual and pro play. So they wanted some transparency when you are watching a stream for the first time. They want the casual viewer to understand what the person on the screen is using. They want to understand, you know, the perks, the attachments, everything. And if those are just in the game and that casual player can go select it, then they're already on the right path, right? Whereas, you know, a casual person might turn into a stream, they have no idea what's on their guns, they have no clue what perks they're running, they have no clue about anything. They're just watching, you know, Crim run around and kill people. They don't understand like what is actually being utilized and why. So that's the reason these classes are being made, essentially. So, you know, if you watch me play and you want to run a main AR Krig class, that's what, and obviously it's, you know, not in the game, but that would be the first one, the stacked millstop. That's what I use. That is a class that, you know, I collaborated on with a bunch of other main ARs. So it's really just transparency, and bridging that gap is the purpose of these classes. So I hope this video could clear some stuff up for you guys. I know it is a completely out of left field concept, and obviously, you know, leave it to Treyarch to come up with some crazy new concept for COD. They do it every year. There's always something that they want to come up with to change the game of Call of Duty, and this is it for competitive this year. So obviously, we're not going to knock it. It's the first rough draft of this. We're going to see how it plays out for the rest of the year. The CDL season is starting up, so they wanted to get it out obviously before the season started, so people can, you know, use the classes that pro players are using and stuff. So I hope this video cleared some things up for you guys. If there's anything that I missed that you have questions about, leave them in the comments. I will try to get to them. I think I covered pretty much everything. Like I said, if there's any glaring issues that you guys think I might have missed, or if there's anything that you guys are curious about, please again leave a comment. Also, on a more unrelated note, obviously I've had a lot of content ideas with all of the recent announcements with League Play, the preset classes, and all that cool stuff. So it's been super easy to come up with YouTube content, obviously. But something I'm really interested in doing is nuke challenges. I think that, you know, growing up and looking at, you know, Seth and Nade, and now I've always admired like pub YouTubers' ability to come up with really cool concepts for, you know, just regular kick-ass pub gameplays. You know, the views probably won't be as good as, you know, covering competitive stuff like that, but those are videos that I really enjoy making. So I think I'm going to take the bullet on that one. Obviously, I try to make videos that you guys are going to be interested in. And I think, you know, watching just crazy challenges for nukes or just like insane gameplays, that's something that I really enjoy watching. So I think that's something that I'll really enjoy making as well. So if you guys see a lot, or not necessarily a pivot, but if you see more of those style of videos in the coming weeks, then that is why. I just want to let you guys know where my head is at in terms of actual content and what I'm going to be uploading. I just think there's just something appealing about just watching like a ridiculous gameplay with, you know, a 48 kill streak and with a pistol or something insane like that. So that's where my head's at for my content schedule. I'll let you guys know how, you know, how my head progresses as I'm continuing to upload those kinds of videos. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you're new, please subscribe. We're on the way to 100K, and leave a like on the video. Appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for watching.